So I'm just gonna go through how the setup works. This is gonna be a high level overview. There's a bunch of small pieces in all this big schema. If you want more information, I can just contact me, and if I see demand for it, I will make a more in-depth video. But for now, this high level overview is just enough to get an idea of how things work. And I am sure that if someone is interested in setting up a system like this, you can find a lot of tutorials. I can also suggest some on how to set up the individual pieces. So how the server is set up is that I have a remote server in Spain, and what I do is that I have two disks in there, one with Ubuntu and another one with Windows. I'm currently using a MacBook Pro. These machines, especially with the M4, well, from M1 to M4 chipset, are very well known for having high battery life and just being very powerful overall. So they are good for on-the-go travel and just very portable and useful machines. The thing is that there's a lot of software, especially in engineering, that is not compatible with these machines. And therefore having access to a powerful Windows or Linux machine can result in just being very comfortable and not having to install any virtual environments in your system. Alright, so the first component is being able to boot the server remotely, because ideally you don't want it to be running all the time and just throwing electricity for nothing. So you can just buy any smart plug from Amazon, like I did, install the recommended app, and from your phone just power on or off the switch of the power plug. So here we powered it on, and it's super useful because you can set a timer, you can control the electricity consumption, and the PC is connected to this power plug, and the PC in the BIOS is set up in such a way that whenever it detects power, it powers on. And the boot priority is set up so it always goes first to Ubuntu. So once the system boots, which shouldn't take much time, you can SSH to it. You can set up a DNS server in order to always look at the IP of your system. Just input the password, and as you see here at the bottom, I'm already connected, and technically I have full access to the other Ubuntu machine. If you want to run something in Visual Studio Code, any software, this is also super easy. Just go here, make this smaller. Just go here to the bottom kind of arrows, connect to the hosts. I have already set up my system. You enter your password, the same as you did in terminal, and you can run anything here. It's also very useful for running deep learning models. For example, I have an RTX 3090 in there, just because I want a lot of VRAM. You could expand it to even more by just adding another 3090 with NVLink or just another GPU, or just if you have CPU intensive software. This is a very nice setup. Alright, so then the other part of it is, imagine that you are a mechanical engineer or just a hobbyist that wants to create 3D CAD drawings and you are used to SolidWorks. Then I've set up a small script that basically reboots the system, and in GRAP selects Windows as the next booting option. So now we can make use of a tool called Parsec, And this tool allows us to have a direct GUI interface with our Windows machine, just like remote desktop, if you've heard about it. But yeah, it's Windows, so it takes a lot of time to boot up. So whenever it boots, it should appear here in Parsec as another rectangle, and it will be as easy as connecting to it. Windows has booted. This depends on how fast your server's disk and processor are, but you just click connect. And the nice thing about Parsec is that it really gives you a lot of flexibility in terms of how to interface with Windows. Latency is quite low. You can even game in here. Maybe it's not the best for competitive online gaming, but for any kind of campaign or offline gameplay, it would work really well. So yeah, I just want to open SolidWorks, for example, so I can easily open it. And this is not only for SolidWorks, but there's many other software that is just very nice to have in Windows, and yeah, it's just very nice to have access to this from anywhere, as long as you have stable connection. And yeah, whenever you want to turn off your system on boot or boot out of it, you just power it down, and it's super simple. Shut down. If you press restart, it will automatically boot into Ubuntu again, because remember, the priority is always set to boot into the Linux distribution first, and you need the custom script in order to boot into Windows only one time. Yeah. And yeah, finally, you could also turn the smart power plug off just by pressing this button, and it's as simple as that. So as you can see, I have here the box set up in the balcony. It has an aluminum frame encasing. It's very robust, and you will see here in the inside that is covered with cork panels, just to avoid any noise going outwards. There's good airflow coming from the left, and this air is also pushed towards the back of the case through the GPU, through the CPU. There's also a beefy cooler on the CPU. There's a powerful and good power supply that delivers consistent power. And here on the bottom, you see that at the left, it is the smart plug that I was talking about before. There's hard drives to store a lot of data. You can alternatively set up some NAS server here. So it is a very flexible system.